Yeah.
I set out to analyze prison reentry and immediately discovered the many challenges ex offenders face upon being released from prison. What I quickly came to understand were the high rates of recidivism, the tendency for ex offenders to fall right back into the criminal justice system. According to Bruce Western, a professor of sociology at Harvard University, around 700,000, mostly low income and minority men and women, are released from prison each year. Returning to lives of low wage and high rates of unemployment, about two-thirds will be rearrested within 3 years. The growth of the prison and jail population in the United States has reached a high of 2.25 million inmates. When you combine incarceration rates with high rates of recidivism, the number of inmates among the criminal justice system increases, therefore requiring government officials to redistribute funds. The system spends approximately $70 billion per year with an average cost of $27,000 per prison inmate. If expenses increase within the system, then various programs throughout the U.S., such as education and healthcare services, undergo cuts in governmental funding. There is social inequality among the growth of the penal system, with a high level of racial disparity between black and white males who are incarcerated. Among black men under age 40, around 1 in 9 is currently behind bars in prison or jail. Among black male high school dropouts under 40, 1 in 3 is incarcerated. And over a lifetime, about 1 in 5 black men born since 1965 will serve time in prison. Social inequality within the penal system is reflective of the communities these men and women come from. In the 1970s, 150,000 inmates were released from prison each year. Prisons now return more than 70,000 prisoners per year to inner city communities. Many prisoners come from inner city poor neighborhoods where jobs are few and health issues and crime rates are high. School districts attempt to keep children in school, but dropout rates are common. The U.S. Department of Justice reports mostly minorities and aged in their 30s or older, prisoners average about a 10th grade education level. Survey data show that about 1/3 of state prison inmates were jobless and 2/3 had a history of heavy drug or alcohol use at the time of their incarceration. At the time of their release, 71.2% look toward participating in programs that aid in substance abuse treatments, yet a low number of 25.3% of ex-offenders participate in work or education programs. This is suggestive of the lack of prison education programs that are available to inmates. Individuals are not prepared to face the hardships of society when they are released from prison. Upon studying these social inequalities, sociologist Bruce Western has proposed the National Prisoner Reentry Program, From Prison to Work. At the center of Western's program rests the idea that all parolees in need of work should receive up to a year of subsidized community service employment. In order to prepare parolees to obtain the proper qualities required in a working environment, it is critical for parolees to achieve basic life skills. Western refers to these skills as reliability, motivation, and sociability, all traits one needs to communicate properly with coworkers and supervisors. It is also critical that prisoners maintain a strict daily routine. Prisoners who fall below average on their literacy skills would be asked to enroll in a national minimum standard of correctional education. This new educational standard would require prisoners to achieve a 12th grade level of literacy. By meeting this requirement, parolees would attain a basic educational background. Under this standard, those who are illiterate would have to meet a goal of 240 hours of basic education. Those who qualify at the 12th grade level would receive a day job to learn proper work habits. If prisoners participate successfully in work and education programs while in prison, they could be considered for early release. A prison work and education program, PrEP, found 6 months' work in federal prison industries was associated with a 24% reduction in reincarceration rates at least 8 years after release. If this were the case, prison populations would see a tremendous decrease in recidivists. Under the program, it is mandatory for the prison administration to play an active role in placement of each ex-offender. Upon my visit to the Archdiocese of Philadelphia Prison Ministry, Director Laura Ford stated that the most critical period of time following the release is the first 5 hours, the next 72 hours, and an ex-offender has not been cleared until they have reached 5 years without relapse, rearrest, or reincarceration. Western's initiatives fit comfortably with Ford's statement that those who are released from prison require immediate attention. With all of these services, transitional employment, housing, and substance abuse programs, parolees may gain a stronger sense of community acceptance. This new proposal of economic and social reintegration may in the long run reshape negative stigmas placed on parolees. In being granted a second chance, parolees are less likely to relapse, and parole programs would see major cutbacks on the number of rearrests made. Educational and work habits gained while in prison would allow parolees more confidence to succeed. If job opportunities for parolees increase, it will reduce crime rates and the cost of governmental spending on the penal system may decrease. Supportive housing would annually cost about $10,000 for each of 100,000 beds. 1 year of substance abuse treatment in a non-residential program costs about $4,900 for each of 100,000 parolees. In total, the gross annual cost of transitional programs would be about $8 billion. If government policy allowed ex-offenders to collect benefits, the program would help strengthen poor urban communities. This plausible goal for intervention of restorative justice would help reduce the gap of human inequalities. Western advocates that correctional policies be changed to allow ex-offenders a smooth integration back into society. His ethical approach would touch the lives of individuals to improve economic opportunity for all.
God show me the way because the devil's trying to break me down.